Happy morning! Muli ang inyong lingkod, Ms. Horizon Chaser, para sa Siyensya at Teknolohiya mula sa Department of Science Technology ng NAST Philippines. Tunghayan natin ang 2023 Magsaysay Future Engineers Technologies Awards. So magbibigay rito ng paper presentation at magkaroon din ng awarding ceremony dito sa Century Park Hotel. Sa programa ay pangunahan sa welcome remarks ni Academician Jaime Montoya, ang President ng NAST Philippines. And for presentation of the mechanics of the award and introduction of the members of the Board of Judges, ay pangunahan sana ito ni Academician Angel Lazaro III, pero may representative po na si Academician Alvin Colaba. So yan po. And para sa pinaka-highlights sa programa, at talagang makikita natin yung mga details na ginawa ng mga kabataang inhinyero. Sina Joshua Anthony G. Cruz ng University of the Philippines, Visayas, at si Mark Edward M. Gonzalez ng De La Salle University, and si Miss Cristina Beatriz Malyare ng De La Salle University, and Sandro Moico ng University of the Philippines, Visayas, and Kaitlin Danilo C. ng De La Salle University. And abangan nyo, dalawa lamang po ang na-interview natin dahil medyo na-late tayo sa pag-interview din sa iba pang mga kabataan natin. Kaya sina Joshua Anthony Cruz lamang and si Sandro Moico ang ating nakapanayam, pero lahat po sila ay napakaganda na kanilang paper presentation at alam natin na talagang piniga sila ng ating mga academician or ng mga judges or ng ating DOST. At yung kanilang presentasyon ay naaayon po yan sa pangangailangan ng ating bansa. So yan po ay binigyan ng solusyon dito mga kabataang engineers natin. At sila po ay malaking tulong talaga na ipinakita dito sa ating bansa. Kaya nagkaroon po pala ng open forum at nagkaroon din ng mga videos presentation and deliberation ng mga winners and presentation ng awards. And of course, yung 2023 Magsaysay Future Engineers Technologies Award na ni-present po ni Yusek Maridon Sahagon at ni Academician Jaime Montoya, President ng NAST Philippines, and assisted by Academician Eileen Colaba. Alright, so bilang panghuli ng programa, kaya nabuo itong 2023 Magsaysay Future Engineers Technology Award dahil sa kasipagan ng naturang direktor ng NAST Philippines na walang iba kundi si Miss Luningning Samarita Domingo. At yun po ay itinuloy-tuloy pa ang buong programang maghapon at nagbigay pa ito ng extension para naman sa pagpapasalamat sa lahat ng sumuporta ng NAST Philippines dito sa ating bansa. At yun nga, naging mala Wonder Woman ang director ng NAST Philippines. At alright, so tuloy-tuloy lamang sa pakikinig dito sa ating programang Happy Morning Show at nagpapasalamat din po tayo sa walang sawang sumuporta dito sa ating news online at abangan ang malapit na ilunsad ang ating news website ng Happy Morning at yun po ay lalo nating pinalakas at pinatitibay pa yung ating mga balita hinggil sa siyensya at teknolohiya at ang lifestyle. Alright, so narito ang bungad ng ating balita sa interview ng ating mga kabataan. Pakinggan natin sila. Alright, happy morning! Muli ang inyong likod, Ms. Horizon Chaser. At eto nga, makapanayam natin ngayon, Magsaysay Future Engineers Technologies Award. So yan, nandito ang ating mga kabataan ngayon, ng mga future engineers na talagang kanina sa kanilang paper presentation, talagang napakahusay po. At hindi ko alam kung paano nila hinugot yon yung ganong klaseng mga inspiration. Kaya alamin natin at eto na nga at makakapanayam natin ngayon para ma-inspire din po yung ating mga kabataan na gusto din maging engineer tulad nila. So, alright. So, ipakilala natin si Sir, yung third winner na si Sir Sandro Moico. Yan, ng University of the Philippines, Visayas. And yung first winner naman natin, si Joshua Anthony Cruz, University of the Philippines, Visayas din. Alright, happy morning.
Good morning.
Kumusta?
Masaya po.
Anong pakiramdam ninyo nung kayo po ay winner na? Joshua and si Joshua pala, mali ako.
Ako si Joshua.
Ah, si Joshua. Kabaliktad. Alright. Mga kabataan na mga engineers natin, paano kayo na nagkaroon ng inspirasyon para ay sumali kayo sa ganitong medyo masakit yata sa ulo. Pinag-iisipan talaga about medicina, no? Hindi yung basta-basta. Ito Joshua.
Sa akin po kasi talaga, yung research ko po, gusto ko po talaga magkaroon siya ng impact sa community. So kaya po, naisipan ko na sumali sa MPhET or Magsaysay Future Technologies and Engineers Award upang, kasi meron po itong significant ibang ka-event na ito kasi kilala po talaga siya nationwide. So para sa akin dito, pagmamagitan nito pag nanalo po ako, para ma-recognize po yung research ko, para magiging inspirasyon na rin sa iba.
Ikaw naman, Sandro.
I think para po sa akin, yung marami, lang po kasi when it comes sa research is that marami yung nilalagay lang sa bookshelf, hindi siya naman materialize. So, yun po yung reason or yung motivation ko na gusto ko marinig ng marami, especially ng mga scientists. Yung research ko ay sa Future Engineers Technologies Award since it's a big competition and a big recognition also po. And also to bring honor also po sa school ko and as well as makilala yung research.
Mention mo, lalo ng mga magulang ko. Ako naman, ang anak ko kayo. Proud talaga ako sa inyo. Kasi di ba mga kabataan ngayon, talaga makikita natin kung ano na yung mga ginagawa nila. Pero kayo, parang iniisip nyo na ngayon pa lang yung solusyon o magiging solusyon ng mga problema natin ngayon. Lalo na sa medisina. So, hindi po ganun kadali yun. So, gaano katagal nyo pinag-aaralan yung Joshua and Sandro?
Kasi po yung research, isa po siya mga requirement na meron po siyang 1 year na parang kailangan tapusin. Pero ako po kasi parang medyo nahirapan din ako sa research ko, so nag-extend po ako ng ilang months. So kailangan ko kasi siya ng rigorous na testing and yung analysis din po.
Inaasahan mo ba na manalo ka na maging first winner ka? 100,000 pesos.
Actually, hindi po talaga kasi alam ko po na nasala po talaga yung mga papers na na-enlist for presentation. I'm really lucky lang po talaga na napasama ko sa top 5 at nabigyan ng pagkakataon na mai-presenta yung papel ko at yun, manalo na rin po.
Ayan, congratulations ulit. And si Sandro,
For me po,
expected mo ba na top 3, di biro yun, diba? So, isang malaking karangalan yun. And magkano ulit yung presyo, yung pagdating sa cash? 25? 50? 30,000. Ayan. So, ano yun? Pero sige, sagutin mo muna yung Sandro.
I think po yung of course happy po na napasama ko sa third place, but I think yung mapasama ko sa top 5 finalists is enough para actually nung last 2 days na po namin nalaman, that's why na from Cebu po kami, so lumipat po kami parang present lang because we don't want to waste this opportunity knowing na maraming research yung nasala and actually it's a great honor also to present, especially sa front po ng mga national scientists natin.
Alright, so kanina nagkaroon kayo ng Q&A, pero hindi biro yung mga nag-i-interview sa inyo sila yung mga scientists din natin, mga director. So anong naramdaman nyo doon? Ang lalalim din ng mga tanong, diba? Bilang mga baguhan, mga kabataan. Oo, diba? Ang lalalim ng mga tanong sa kanila kanina. So, alright. So ano yung nararamdaman nyo doon? Na-inspired ba kayo? Gusto nyo pa ba na tuloy-tuloyin yun sa mga sinasabi ng ating mga directors, mga scientists natin na sumusuporta sa akin?
Kasi parang siya, mas una nakakakaba pero tumagal po, parang nare-realize po namin, nabibigyan po kami ng better perspective. Ano ba dapat yung gagawin namin dito next na step para kasi hindi lang pwede na maging may recognition lang, na maging research lang siya. Dapat meron siyang application sa community and commercialization para sa larger application.
Same po, ano po yung kaba, knowing the fact na maraming experts yung tumatanong sa'yo.
Halos technical pa,
Just
di ba?
actually. So, But as long as alam mo, I think ito yung importante, dapat alam mo kung ano yung research mo. Alam mo kung sino yung matutulungan nito. So, kaya kapag tinanong ka, like, alam mo kung paano siya sasagutin. Alam mo na may pakinabang talaga siya sa bayan natin.
Ang galing nyo nga lahat na sagot. So ilan sila mga directors? Kami ang kinabangan. Pero yan, natural po yung kanila. Talagang pinakita na ating mga kabata ang inhinyero na talagang alam din po yung ginagawa nila. Kaya talagang tama ba namin kayo para sa ating bansa?
Opo, nakakasiguro po kayo na yung mga kaalaman po namin nakalap sa pananaliksik ay magagamit po namin para sa pagkaunlad ng bayan.
Alright.
Yes po, naniniwala pa rin po ako na yung kabataan ay yung pag-asa ng bayan. So kami po na we're hoping also na yung research po namin, not only us, but of course marami pa po mga scientista, like future scientists na may plan po na gumawa ng mga research. And I hope na when they choose a research, dapat may passion at makakatulong talaga ito sa bansa.
Alright. So ano namang masasabi natin doon sa kung merong ibang bansa ang gustong bilhin yung inyong paper presentation o yung kaalaman na na-research ninyo, papayag ba kayo?
Depende po kung paano po nila paggagamitin po. Gagamitin po nila sa for the betterment of the environment.
Ang buong mundo.
Opo, hindi ko papayag po ako and willing po ako makipag-partnership sa kanila.
Basta lang nandyan yung from Philippines.
Yes, yun po, yung
Kumbaga,
tamang recognition.
Diba? So yun naman, proud din tayo nun. Diba?
Yes po. So as long as, in case po na may like partnership or opportunity, I guess like siguro po nandun po yung acceptance, pero dapat may consideration din po na dapat alam nila na gawang Pinoy, yung research ay ginawa ng isang Pilipino, produkto ng educational system ng Pilipinas. So nandun pa rin yung karamihan. Proud Pinoy.
Thank you so much. So ayan, nakaka-inspire po talaga itong ating dalawang, ilang taon ka na pala?
22 po.
22 pala.
23.
23. O, diba? So, paano na? Alright, thank you so much. Last message, kung meron kayo. Okay.
Sa akin, sa mga fellow teenagers ko dyan, teenagers ba? Mga young, those young students na pursuing science and technology, pagbutihin nyo lang mabuti and i-dedicate nyo yung mga studies nyo para sa mga kababayan din natin.
Same din po, like manaliksik at magkaroon ng passion towards science and technology at gamitin yung karunungan para sa kabutihan para sa ating bayan. Yun lang po.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Thank you po.
Happy morning po, sir. Ano po nasasabi natin kanina tungkol sa ating mga kabataan ngayon na mga future engineers natin po? And magbigay po tayo ng mensahe para sa iba din na hindi nag-join sa ganitong klaseng ibinigay na pagkakataon po ng NAST para dito sa ating mga engineers po. So, talaga makakatulong ba sila sa ating bansa at ano pa yung pangangailangan?
Yeah, one of the functions of NAST is to recognize scientists, researchers, engineers, technologists. So this is one of the we give awards aside from yung outstanding paper, outstanding young scientist. So this is one of them na binibigyan ng NAST funded, through DOST as well as I think named after the Ramon Magsaysay. So the idea is that to really encourage these kinds of our young graduates, especially in engineering, to showcase ano yung ginawa nila, and hopefully it will be a good model for other students in engineering to also follow their steps. So, because if you do these kinds of things, it will be like a good, incentive for them if you give them awards, if they are recognized, to really do something more than just the ordinary. As far as this kind of engineering scholarship, research, or whatever you call it. So hopefully people know about this for our young graduate engineering graduates. they will try to get in and then see if, because it's a good exposure also to them. But aside from the cash prize, but in any case, that's part of our function as an NAST to give recognition to our students.
Thank you so much po, sir.
Okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant day to all.
Represent their institution, fast-paced technologies and changes in science and technology that may lead to innovation and sustainability. To all the contenders of the NFET Award, by yourselves today, you're already winners. But of course, for the presentation and for the deliberation of our esteemed Board of Judges, we will now determine who among you have graciously shared their time and attention to this activity so that we will be able to choose from among you the winner for the NFET Award. Thank you everyone for finding time to attend our activity today, and may we all continue to support this particular award and all of the future activities of the DOST and the National Academy of Science and Technology. And of course, this early, I would like to take this opportunity to greet
Dr.
everyone.
Alan Soriano, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is our culmination of our search for the 2023 Magsaysay Future Engineers Technologies Award. This particular award aims to encourage young Filipino students to pursue a career in science, engineering, and technology, and to recognize outstanding research outputs on engineering and technology at the collegiate level. In this particular search, we open this to all bona fide students all over the country. This year, we received 10 nominees who have been subjected to a two-stage judging process. The first stage of the process consisted of 13 members, all from the Engineering Sciences and Technology Division of the National Academy of Science and Technology. We would like to emphasize that during the first stage of the judging, there are two important criteria that we had looked at. First, on the person, the credentials of the person. We also have to scrutinize the nominees' academic records and other personal attributes on the basis of the information and data provided to the Secretariat and to the Board of Judges. This accounts to 20% of the overall criteria. The second criterion accounts for 80% of the overall mark, which looks at, number one, the methodology used by these nominees during their research undertaking or project undertaking. That accounts to 20% of the 80% of the output. The quality of innovativeness, originality, and creativity, which accounted for 15%. The quality of the write-up, whether it was submitted as a thesis or of a paper, again accounted for 15%. And the Board of Judges in the first stage also looked at its contribution, the work, and of course the nominee to science, technology, knowledge, and or impact on Philippine business and industry of their work, which accounted for 30%. Of the 10 nominees for this year, 5 made it to the finals. We're not obliged to actually identify 5 every year. It could be only 1 or none at all. It depends on the decision on the first stage of the judging. So again, as President Montoya has mentioned, the finalists have actually gone through this next stage, and therefore you are all winners, and congratulations for reaching this stage. The finals judging today will now be based on 2 criteria. Number 1, your presentation. The presentation will cover your work and how well you organize your thoughts, okay, in presenting your work, which accounts for 50% of the mark. The other 50% will now be based on the Board of Judges questions and how you answer to the questions that will be asked by the Board of Judges. The Board of Judges today is the finals Board of Judges, and MFET is chaired by academician Angel Lazaro III. Only this year, he will be unable to join us. That is why I am acting as on behalf of academician Lazaro as chair for this year's MFET Awards. I'm Alvin Culaba, member of the National Academy of Science. First, academician Aura C. Matias, also a member of the National Academy of Science and Technology. Academician Matias. The next member of the finals board, the third. All judges is we would have fortunately cannot join us. That we will have to stop you beyond 10 minutes. Presentation duration. And there was a drawing by lots on the sequence of our presenters. And I would like to announce the following sequence of our presenters. The first one will be Kathleen Danielle C. I think she's here. Can you just stand up? Okay, that's Kathleen. Second, the presenter will be Mark Edward Gonzalez. Okay. Mark. The third presenter will be Joshua Anthony Cruz. The fourth presenter is Sandro Muico. And the fifth presenter is Cristina Beatriz Malyari. After the presentations, the finals board, of course, as finalists. And the first prize will receive a cash prize of 100,000 pesos each. Place 30,000 pesos for the third mentor, Dr. Kathleen Danielle O.C. Her work is on fuzzy optimization of the esterification conditions of biodiesel production from Karanja oil. Miss Kathleen C. I'm not mentioning their universities. It's on the program. Baka kasi maano sa results ng UAAP. Alam naman yung hindi lang magagaling yung mga institutions represented ngayon, no? Sa science, pati sa basketball. Anyway, sige, please. You're given 10 minutes.
Presenting my research titled The Fuzzy Optimization of Diesel Production. Address the heavy reliance of the energy industry on the use of fossil fuels. And accelerated industrialization, the world's total primary energy consumption would just continue to increase. So continuing to use fossil fuels would be very unsustainable. So this can be addressed by shifting to renewable energy such as biodiesel. Making biodiesel production an efficient process. So some of these challenges including 1, the feedstock selection, and 2, optimizing production processes. These two are one hour with food, which would drive up their prices and spark the food versus fuel conflict. So our study proposes the use of non-edible oils as they are cheaper and more readily available than traditional fossil fuels. One of the most popular and most commonly used techniques is the response surface methodology, or RSM for short. So our main reference, in fact, use the response surface methodology to optimize the intensification of the esterification conditions of Caranja oil using ultrasound. However, RSM has its limitations, and one of these is that it's primarily used for single objective optimization problems, and it may be suitable to use for multi-objective ones. It also can just find the local optima instead of the global optima of the process. Is addressing this research gap by using fuzzy optimization to solve a multi-objective optimization problem in order to arrive at the global optimal solution. So fuzzy optimization, in simple terms, it combines fuzzy set concepts with mathematical programming, and it has also the ability to able to handle uncertainties associated with the ambiguity and the vagueness of information. It also enables us to simultaneously consider multiple objectives and determine the best trade-off among these objectives. So the objective of our study is to obtain the optimal methanol to oil ratio, reaction time, catalyst loading, and duty cycle that would maximize. Comprises of 3 main steps. So the first part deals with the relationship among the operating variables, and this is based on the response surface equation that we obtained from our mean reference. So after which we derive the cost equation, and this is the error associated with our process. We incorporated a cumulative uncertainty equation into our study. And what this does is it determines the upper and lower boundary limits for conversion and cost. So to get the upper and lower boundary limits, we have 2 objective functions, as you can see. One is to maximize the conversion, which is denoted by y sub q, and the other is to minimize the total operating cost, which is denoted by c sub t. So these objective functions will be subject to the constraints shown on screen. That's mathematically. So if we were to model the human judgment, the simplest way to express this is through linear functions. This simply means that if increasing a certain quantity leads to us being more increasingly satisfied, then that sort of direct relationship is linear. So lastly, the maximum and minimum to oil ratio. So the key takeaway here is that process which is caused by the excessive amounts of methanol in the system. And this can cause a decline in the efficiency of the catalyst process. And this negatively affects the ester yield, causing a decrease in conversion. So the next variable will be reaction time. So a longer reaction time would mean longer cavitational time taking place within the system, and this would improve the rate of reaction and promote a larger surface area for the reaction to occur. Cycle can be conversion. So higher duty cycles can can make catalyst loading at a certain level ineffective. Shown on screen is the Pareto curve which was obtained by performing Pareto front generation. So Pareto front generation is based on the Pareto optimality concept, which means that the improvement of one criterion is only possible through the worsening of at least another criterion. So in this curve, we can see the values of the lower and boundary limits and upper limit for the conversion and cost respectively. So all the points on the curve are a set of compromise solutions wherein each of these do not necessarily exhibit superiority with each other, meaning that there is no best solution within them. So this is the reason why we perform fuzzy optimization, so that we could find the best compromise solution. So this is the best compromise solution, which is a conversion of 67% and a total cost of $0.12 per liter. This is achieved at an overall degree of success was lower by 14%. We were able to reduce the cost by 25%. So seen also in the table are the values of the operating variables needed to achieve the side values for conversion and cost. So therefore, the use of a minimized cost of $0.12 per liter of oil esterified was obtained. So in future works, incorporation of a comparative study of various non-edible oils may be considered, and a more detailed cost equation may also be considered for better accuracy. So if any of you might be...
Again, if you have any questions for our audiences, paper entitled Protein Embeddings Improve Phage Host Interaction Prediction. A round of applause to Mr. Mark Edward M. Gonzalez.
And to everyone gathered in this hall, good morning. I am Mark Edward M. Gonzalez from... In 2050, it is expected that the predicted mortality of antimicrobial resistance will rise to 10 million, rivaling that of cancer. In the Philippines, of some bacteria against commonly used antibiotics are quite alarming. Scientists have been with the threat alternatives to our usual antibiotics. One of them is by using phages. Phages are viruses that target bacteria. And in phage therapy, we are using this as alternatives to our usual antibiotics. And because they are specific to a particular host species or strain, there's also a reduced risk of developing resistance. And they are generally cheaper to produce than our usual antibiotics. Given these advantages, clinical trials have already started in some countries like the US and France. And in our country, there are also ongoing research works and projects that push for the use of phages among hospitals, universities, and health institutions. The main challenge, however, is identifying which phages attack a given host. And in vitro experiments can be time-consuming and also cost-intensive. Hence, we may benefit from having a rapid method of knowing or shortlisting candidate phages that attack a particular bacterial host. And in our research, we showed that artificial intelligence can be employed to help identify phage host pairs. So, to give the context of our research, we sought to combine biology and AI. Think of ChatGPT. So in ChatGPT, it learns from billions of text documents and it learns to generate texts. In our work, we are doing something like ChatGPT, but this time we are working on phage proteins, so these virus proteins. So our model, it tries to learn knowledge, patterns from large protein databases, and then essentially, these models, we try to learn the language of proteins. After capturing this, they are automatically converted to a vector that can be used for phage host prediction. To get into a bit more detail, but for sequences to be used by an AI model, they first have to be converted to a vector of numbers. And how do we do that? Existing works typically, what they do is to extract handcrafted properties or which one is the most informative. And so to eliminate and help eliminate this difficulty, our work uses something called representation learning. In representation learning, we have deep learning models. So these deep learning models take a look at the patterns in large protein databases or numerical vectors. These vectors are what we feed to the AI model. So essentially, it reduces the cognitive load associated with choosing from among multiple properties. And given a sequence, we can automatically convert it into the, and we perform gene coordinate prediction and functional annotation. From there, we focused on a specific class of proteins called specificity. In total, we were able to get around 24,700 receptor binding proteins. Once we have the sequences, we then applied representation learning. So in representation learning, our aim is to convert them into numerical vectors. To this end, we used 7 different protein language models, most of which are transformers. So transformers are also the machinery behind ChatGPT. So as we can see in the figure on the right, transformers are very powerful deep learning models that leverage self-attention layers in order to, in this case, determine or capture the relationship across amino acids. So the output is the vector V, which we refer to as our protein embedding. And then once we feed them to a weighted random forest classifier, which is an ensemble of decision trees, and the output will be what bacterial host that phage is trying to attack. We now proceed to discuss. So our first result is that we found that transformer-based embeddings outperformed handcrafted or manually feature-engineered genomic and protein properties. We benchmarked our work against the state-of-the-art by Bochartz et al., wherein they used around 200 sequence properties. So in terms of numerical results, we have shown that our method leads to a performance improvement of around 3 to 4% in terms of weighted F1. The same performance improvement can be seen in terms of weighted recall or the true positive rate. So this is for across all tested confidence thresholds. Our second main result is that we're interested in knowing what exactly are our protein embeddings capturing. So to do that, we try to combine our protein embeddings with different sequence properties that are known to be relevant to phage-host interaction. And as we can see, the improvement, even after combining those sequence properties, is very 3%. Our best performance was achieved using the transformer-based model from T5. In terms of scientific contribution, there are 2. First, we present performance improvements, and second, we eliminate the difficulty of having to choose from a wide array from a multitude of sequence properties. We hope that this will help in accelerating and improving the screening or the shortlisting of candidate phages, and that it will assist our biologists in their experiments. We hope that in the context of our country, this can also help in promoting phage therapy as one of the thrusts against antimicrobial resistance. Outside the clinical setting, we hope that our software can also help in screening phages for agricultural biocontrol for our Filipino farmers. We are continually extending our with protein structure information, and this has recently been approved for Google's Tensor Processing Unit Research Cloud.
He will present his research on. So Mr. Joshua
Highgate from a KS solution using KOH modified iron impregnated biochar. So first, antibiotic pollution is now an emerging concern that we need to address. So in this case, doxycycline is an example of commonly used antibiotic for medicine. The problem with doxycycline is that the body as the Philippines is 1,000 naira per liter, and also many animal farms in the Philippines use doxycycline to prevent disease caused by bacteria and for growth enhancement. So the problem with antibiotic introduced into the environment is their potential ecological toxicity as well as the promotion or the development of antimicrobial resistant genes. So there are currently several tests in energy. There is no toxic byproduct generation as well as it is straightforward operation. So bamboo in the Philippines is intertwined with our economy and culture. So in Iloilo, the Iloilo is considered to be the bamboo capital. So what I have observed is that in the industrial processing of bamboo, there is a huge waste generation of sawdust. So sawdust can cause in treating environmental problems. So I want to use this as a biochar in removing the doxycycline from water. So specifically, it aims to synthesize and characterize the modified biochar, assess the effects of process variables, the adsorbent dosage, the doxycycline concentration, as well as the solution pH. Then it next to determine the optimum operating conditions, and lastly to know the mechanism behind the adsorption process. So here is the general methodology. So it is divided into four. First is the synthesis and the characterization. So for biochar synthesis, the reagents as well as the sawdust was mixed and then pyrolyzed at 700 degrees Celsius and then sieved to a desired particle size. Then the biochar was characterized. Then parametric study using 2K full factorial design to screen the process variables was conducted. After that, the significant factors were optimized using the response surface methodology that Box-Benken designed, and then the model was validated. As you can see in the figure shows one, there is rougher surface area, as well as smaller pore sizes are observed. So this could mean that the KOH successfully disrupted the carbon walls. And for the EDS analysis, it is also evident that there's lower concentration of carbon in the modified. So it complements with the SEM images. As well as there is a presence of iron. So the iron was successfully loaded onto the biochar, as also evident in the electron mapping analysis. Then next, let us talk about the surface functional group. So the FTIR analysis, here is to summarize, the shifting and the flattening of curves corresponds to the participation of hydroxyl carboxylic acid, the aromatic carbon CH, and the FeO bonds in the adsorption process. And lastly, for characterization, the point of zero charge was conducted to determine the effect of pH on the electrostatic interaction between the adsorbate and the adsorbent. So for the 2K full factorial design in a parametric study, it is determined that all three factors are significant. So for initial doses for the adsorbent dosage, increasing adsorbent dosage would increase the availability of absorption sites, so there is a positive effect. Similarly, the initial doxycycline concentration would increase the mass transfer rate between the adsorbent and adsorbate, so increasing also the removal efficiency. However, in the solution pH, there is a negative interaction between the two, so increasing the pH would cause electrostatic repulsion between the adsorbate and adsorbent. So for the optimization process, it is determined that the factor solution pH and the interaction effect between the adsorbent dosage and the initial doxycycline concentration have positive effect in the removal efficiency. So this is the quadratic model generated in the optimization using Box-Benken. So on the left side, this is encoded factors which could tell the relative impacts of the factors, and on the right side are the actual factors which could be used to estimate the removal efficiency when you are given with parameters. And next is our the optimum determined maximum removal is around 97.51% at this condition. So it is at the minimum of 1.15 grams per liter, and for the confirmation test, so for the confirmation test, it is determined that the unexperimental or actual value of 98.78% removal was obtained. So this is within the 95% level of significance. So the model is valid. And for the kinetics study, it showed that chemisorption mainly governed the adsorption process. This means that strong interaction between the adsorbate and adsorbent is observed. So this could be associated with hydrogen bonding, the electrostatic attraction, the bimer interaction, as well as the compensation reaction. Then for the isotherm studies, it is determined that monolayer process governs the adsorption, and the maximum adsorption capacity is around 95.02 milligrams per gram. So comparing this to other existing biochars, you can see that this adsorbent is at par and better than existing ones. So In conclusion, this study was able to synthesize the KOH modified iron impregnated bamboo biochar. And the process variables that have significant effect to the removal efficiency are the adsorbent dosage, the doxycycline concentration, as well as the solution pH. And then the optimum removal efficiency of about 97% was obtained at a minimum adsorbent dose of 1.25 grams per liter and 32 ppm of doxycycline concentration and solution pH of 3. Then the adsorption process was governed by chemisorption and monolayer process and has a maximum absorption of 95 milligrams. It is recommended for future studies to include the selectivity and stability experiments, as well as the impact of real wastewater matrix in the removal of doxycycline using the KFBC biochar. Also, one should collaborate with local bamboo processing industries and LGUs to explore the feasibility of upcycling the bamboo waste residues for biochar production and commercialization. Also, one can integrate adsorption technology in small-scale wastewater treatment plants such as hospitals and agricultural areas. And lastly, one can develop a comprehensive guide or training program to facilitate the effective transfer of this adsorption technology to wastewater treatment plants. So, what really is the significance of this study? So, this study would highly benefit the following. So, first is the future researchers. Now that antibiotic pollution and antimicrobial resistance is an emerging problem, this can be used to as basis for an enhanced adsorption or removal of these pollutants. Also, local bamboo industries. This study widens the technical application of bamboo, so turning waste into high-value product, so boosting the economy of bamboo industries. And for the wastewater treatments, this can be used as an effective and updated or advanced method to remove the emerging concern pollutants now, such as the antibiotics. And for aquatic ecosystem, this study may reduce the concentration of the antibiotics, such as doxycycline, present in aquatic ecosystem. And lastly, for the community, although it has an indirect effect, however, we know that it is always the poor who will experience the problems with our environmental issues. So, because they have lack of quality health care and as well as they are financially insecure. So, we need to apply solutions in current environmental problems. So, with this study, I believe I can reduce the pressure for the development of antimicrobial resistance, and that is all. So, science and technology for the people. Thank you so much.
The requirements and adherence to workload limits. And this found that even for large-scale scenarios, the model is capable of solving the UCWPP in less than 1.5 minutes. So here we considered several cases, and as expected, the computational time and memory usage would increase as you increase the scale of the problem systems. So for here, Department of the University in the Philippines with around 120 students in the batch, and it was still computationally efficient. Student workload and make the students and instructors more comfortable. So for me, I believe the effects of this model are actually cannot really be realized by the on our side. We also incorporate modifications in the model such that they consider we communicate with them the benefits of our model at the same time
into our fuel. So currently we are 2023 magsaysay future engineers.
1,000 pesos, nasaan na? Huwag mo tago.
Congratulations.
1,000 pesos cash prize.
Thank you po,
Okay.
especially sa NAST
Congratulations
for
again.
conducting this event, especially to recognize
For the
scientists,
second
young
prize,
scientists and engineers like us. Thank you
it
po.
goes to improve phage post-interaction prediction. In recognition of its outstanding scientific and technological research. Congratulations. In recognition of our outstanding scientific and technological research entitled The University.
Visayas, and the De La Salle is remarkable that they have already produced highly commendable works. I concur with our Board of Judges for selecting these young people to be recognized through this award. We appreciate the generous and passionate support of the Department of Science and Technology Philippines in recognizing the research works of our young engineers and technologists. We hope this will encourage more young engineer students to pursue science and technology track. I would like to thank Secretary Renato Sugubum and Undersecretary Sahagon for their support in this activity. We would also like to thank our Board of Judges today, si Academician Colaba, Academician Tabios, Academician Matias, corresponding member Coelho, and Dr. Annabel Briones for deliberating on the winners. I know they gave you a hard time in evaluating and ranking them. We will continue our activity after an hour. Kindly settle on your seats kasi meron pong part 2 ang day's activity. The second part is the Thanksgiving part event for those who supported NAST and all our activities. Lahat po kayo, paki-register if you are not yet registered so that you can be included in the raffle. Otherwise, hindi po kasama ang name sa raffle, huwag po kayo magre-reklamo sa akin. You may now, ang nakalagay po dito sa script ko, is to tell you that lunch is outside and you can take your lunch and
Alright, so yan ang kabuuan ng mga balita ng siyensya at teknolohiya na hatid po sa atin ng National Academy of Science and Technology Philippines. Ang Department of Science and Technology ay nakiisa sa tema ng 2023 Magsaysay Future Engineers Technology Award. At nagkaroon nga ito ng napakamatagumpay na awarding ceremony at ang paper presentation noong December 1, 2023 sa Century Park Hotel. Kaya naging matagumpay ito sa pangunguna ni Miss Luningning Samaritana Domingo, ang Director ng NAST Philippines. Muli ang inyong nilingkod, pansamantala nagpapaalam at patuloy lamang po tayo na sumubaybay sa ating programa at abangan ang nalalapit na pagbubukas ng bago nating news website, ang Happy Morning. Ay yan ang maging ating dapat tangkilikin at suportahan dahil ito'y makatotohanan at makabuluhan ang mga nilalaman ng mga balita para mapakinabangan natin sa ating pang-araw-araw na ating pamumuhay nang sa ganun po ay tayo'y umunlad at maging maligaya. Muli ang iyong lingkod, Biz Horizon Chaser, nagpapaalam dito sa Century Park, Manila. Happy morning! I love you all!
At makarecover ito mula sa panghihina at anumang karamdaman. Dahil sa taglay nitong chlorophyll, mahusay itong mga blood cleansers at nakakatulong para maiwasan ng anemia, sakit ng ulo, hypertension at diabetes. At marami pang ibang karamdaman dulot ng pagbaba ng blood oxygen sa dugo. Mangosteen, graviola at resveratrol, mga kilalang antioxidants. Tumutulong ang mga ito para bumagal ang aging process ng katawan. Pinagaganda nito ang functions ng nervous, circulatory at immune systems para lumakas laban sa tumor cells, maiwasan ang stroke at heart attack na resulta ng pagbabara ng mga ugat at paninigas ng mga muscle at body tissues dala ng acidity sa dugo. Aloe vera, ground seaweed at stevia, mga pagkaing tumutulong para pagandahin ang ating digestive function, tumutulong gawing regular ang ating bowel movement, balansehin ang ating blood sugar level at pabilisin ang paggaling ng mga sugat sa katawan. Laban sa oxidative stress na nagiging sanhi ng iba't iba pang karamdaman. Ang Health Insight 15-in-1 and Health Insight 16-in-1 Herbal Coffee Blend ang dalawa sa pinakamasarap at pinaka-maaasahang herbal coffee blend na kaagapay at minahal ng masa. Huwag nang magpahuli. Subukan at patunayan ang nakakabilib na epekto ng Amazing Health Insight 15-in-1 and Health Insight 16-in-1 Herbal Coffee Blend.
Happy morning, Miss Horizon. Please visit the Cheongdam restaurant. Thank you for coming.
Happy morning! So, narin mo ako sa
Kung sakali na ipinagpilitan, sino-sino po talaga ang dapat maging partner?
Ito yung maaasahan natin sa taong 2023 pa para sa pagsulong ng mga First time ko to. Makikita natin talagang kayang may kinalaman ba ito? Dito? Alright. So, di ba high-tech ng ating mga tricycle? Ako ito lang. Ay, pati ba ito? Is ano pa po yung dapat nila na maaasahan sa PILAS? And kayo po ang president ngayon.
Happy morning!